welcome back to another episode of Girls Eat Too. I'm Paris Lavet, your host of this beautiful show. And today, y'all know I love a creative who just creative and then just turn that shit into legacy. So I'm honored here today with Rick. Woo! So he is responsible for putting some of the most coolest DNA into the city, honestly. Started with the Board of Administration and then went to the museum. So we're gonna chop it up with him today and see how everything just came about and get to know him a little better. You cool with that?
Cool with that, let's get it.
All right. And now I gotta cuss him out a little bit because he was been supposed to come over here. Okay? He was supposed to come to the studio on U Street and he didn't. But it's okay, I ain't gonna beat him up because he's here now and that's all that matters. I know everybody busy, everybody got shit going on. But yeah, cheers to a great show. You know, he on his whatever he on. I'm on whatever I'm on. Don't worry about what's in my cup. Period. All right, so get us started and let me know where you from and tell the people a little bit about you because, you know, some people might not know who you are.
Yeah, nah, for sure. For the people that don't know who I am.
For the people who don't know.
I'm LeGreg G. Mogul Harrison. Fourth generation Washingtonian. From Washington, D.C., of course, Southeast, by way of Congress Heights. I always like to put that Congress Heights thing in there.
Okay,
Ward 8,
I was wondering.
because you know how the city is very territorial. And you got to claim where you're from.
Yeah, you do.
You know, that's ludicrous, but that's what we do.
Okay.
And so, yeah, I had a great childhood. I would say, you know, growing up in the 90s in D.C. was a very, like, prevalent time, you know, to grow up there because we were the murder capital.
Yeah.
And I don't say that to glorify what we've been through, but to actually put you in a mind state of elevation, of where we had to separate ourselves in terms of where we wanted to go, and what that took. And so I come from a very resilient community in Congress Heights that lacked resources, you know, so it wasn't a really easy feat to get to where I had to go to. Right. I had to dribble a basketball to do so. And then in doing that, it offered me a lot of opportunities to get outside of the city, to be able to bring some stuff back to the city. Okay. So, you know, that will lead me into going to the great Virginia State
University. The great
University.
Virginia State.
Not the little state, but the big state.
The biggest.
You know, Trojan way. And I had an amazing time at Virginia State.
I did too.
Virginia State changed my life.
What made you go to Virginia State? Always ask that.
So actually, I was one of the top point guards in the country playing basketball in high school. I went to a prep school called Coastal Christian down in Virginia Beach. And one of my teammates turned best friends, Rodney Henry. Rodney is just an amazing person. Owned a couple of McDonald's franchises in South Carolina and Virginia area. But we met at the prep school and also playing AAU basketball. One day we were up here playing in a 19 and under basketball tournament going into our freshman year for college. At the time, Coastal Christian, we had a lot of issues with the clearinghouse, NCAA, and we didn't qualify. It was said that someone took the SATs for us for over half of my basketball team. That wasn't the case,
right.
But we got penalized for it, and I would have had to go to junior college. So I went down to, in Lubbock, Texas, there's a JUCO called South Plains. So I was there for the summer, came home to play in the tournament against my compadre, Muhammad, Ron T, bunch of other guys, and people gonna know those names when I say it. But we played 19 under tournament at Central. I did my thing in the championship. Rod was there, the coach of Virginia State was there, and was like, man, listen, I know you're going to JUCO and you're trying to go off to do great things, but I would like to see what you can contribute at Virginia State University. I never even heard of Virginia State before, to be honest with you. When you're playing basketball at that level, you don't really hear about Division II schools like that, you know.
Right.
Even though, when I went down there for the visit, I was gone.
It was lit.
Because before then, you gotta understand this, I went to a prep school where, you know, they would separate the girls and the boys. You know, the girls had to wear long skirts, so on and so on. My whole life up until that point was basketball, all right? I didn't even have any work experience at that point throughout high school. You know how sometimes, like, you get a job at 14, 15. Nah, I worked, what's it called? Summer youth program.
Yeah.
You know, Marion Barry and we all worked those jobs. And they paid you like $10, you know what I'm saying? Nothing real heavy on your pockets, but I was able to go down to Virginia State for a visit. I locked in. Coach loved me. I loved the school. I met the woo-woos, you know, Dr. Johnson.
I was going to ask you, did you have him on your line?
Yeah,
Heard you was a star basketball player down there.
I named them the Wookiees.
Okay.
Yeah, the Wookie Butts. I named them that. And I think I was able to help bridge the gap between the basketball team and the Woo-woos.
Okay.
Because prior to me and Rock getting there, we'd sit in the calf, the Woo-woos sit on one side, the basketball team was on the other side, and I just started going over there sitting with them, you know? And I forgot what Spirit that was. I think it was like Spirit 01 or Spirit 2000.
And I'm 2012.
So, I think it was that Spirit. It might have been Spirit 03, something like that. I ended up going to Virginia State in 02, just for whoever's listening. But had an amazing time at Virginia State. Did a lot of great things while I was there. We were #1 in crowd attendance for basketball. If we had 5,000 students, at least 4,000 was at the games when we was there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we tore that shit up.
Tore it up.
Yeah, I can remember distinctly Midnight Madness. They didn't have it at our school ever until we got there. And what that is, it's like a showcase for everybody to come see the new team.
Yeah.
And when I ran out with the team, everybody was laughing. They was like, man, G crazy, what are you doing running out with the team? Because they didn't know I played. They knew I played when the tip-off came.
Okay, so wait, why didn't they know you played? You was just that mysterious?
Nah, so, you know, at the university level, at that time, we didn't have social media like that. Facebook had just started. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling the age. Facebook just started when I was at Virginia State, and you had to have a college email to even get on Facebook. So we didn't have social media. It wasn't a lot of funding put into HBCUs at that time. So there's not a lot of footage floating around. You know, we just lacked a lot of resources. So I don't know. I think that you know, now where we're at in terms of HBCUs, it's a really great thing. You have this billionaire's wife donating $50 million to Howard, donating another 30 to Virginia State.
Yeah.
So we won't have those problems anymore with people not knowing you play on the team or not. But I was low key when I first got there. I just ran the yard. I didn't tell people much about me playing basketball. If you knew, you knew. And when we would do tour days, it'd be 6 in the morning.
Yeah.
And then it'd be really late. So nobody ever saw me put on a uniform until Midnight Madness. When I tell you it was 4,000 people in the gym and I had everybody on their feet, and whoever watching, they'll tell you I mixed a couple drinks, threw the jump between nigga legs off his head, threw the alley-oop to Avis wide, and the rest was history. Everybody stormed the court. They was calling me Lil Skip, but I was just showing them a little bit of that DC shit. That's what we do.
They got footage of that? I'm trying to see it.
It's footage of that. It's footage of that. If you got the footage of that, or if you know about it, it's people like DJ 5'9", Royce Davis. He went to state. He know what time it is.
Yep.
You know, but I'm pretty sure that if you went to state, you heard the myth, you heard about the legend, G Mogul on campus.
I ain't gonna lie. I told you I heard.
I was all right down there. You
heard
know?
you was
I
nice.
had fun.
Okay. And some people might not know, but you managed the College Hill cast out there.
Yeah, so
How'd you get into that?
that's kind of funny because I was one of the first people that, it was a guy, Dr. Flife, he was down there, and Dr. Eddie Moore, and they came to me because they had Miss Tracy Edmonds. She was a producer, and I believe that was like Babyface's wife. Yeah, and she was a producer. She came down, they were talking about starting this this new, what do you call it? What do you call those shows? Reality show. That just wanted to speak to the college experience. And I remember I was sitting in the office and they was asking me who I thought should be on that show. You know, and the benefits of bringing a show like that to Virginia State, increased enrollment. You know, it really did a lot for the school. And so I had a hand in, nobody knew that, but I had a hand in picking some of the cast members. And I was actually asked to be a cast member.
And why you declined?
Yeah, I'm more of a behind the scenes guy.
Yeah.
Even though people would say, man, I'm a party starter, I'm the life of the party, things of that nature. I like to get to the money.
Yeah.
You know, and I like to manage the assets.
Right.
Right. And I wanted to make sure that I didn't do anything to embarrass my family name
Yeah, man.
or prevent me from doing other things that I wanted to do later. But I knew if I stayed close, of course, like I said, Rob was my best friend. You know, Ray, that was on the show, that's my heart. Yeah, I think Ray now is like an executive at BET, doing a lot of things on the production side. But College Hill was amazing. I think it just did so many great things for the cast that was there. And so how I wasn't officially the manager, okay? I just kind of took that position. I can remember 2006 BET Awards. Some of the cast members were a part of that award show. They were talent for that award show. Yeah. And I ended up meeting a guy named George Hughes, who became my mentor. I met him through my stepfather, my former stepfather. I don't fuck with that nigga, but my former stepfather, straight up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I ended up meeting George through him. George was a native Washingtonian, went to Hampton, and he actually went to Hampton with Curtis Malone. Curtis Malone is the godfather of AAU basketball for this area, just so that y'all understand the parallel, okay?
I'm dealing with him on Saturday.
Okay, well,
We'll be in the kitchen.
That's like my uncle. I love yeah, you know. But so they were actually college roommates, which is crazy. I learned that later on. But George was like Steve Stoutish before Steve Stout. You remember Persuco jeans? He was the marketing jeans behind that.
Wow.
Remember Ice Tech watches?
Nope.
Okay, they know who Ice Tech watches is. That was like the first icy, you know, watches that was out back in that time. He was the guy behind that. He was the guy behind Apple Bottoms. And, you know, so that's actually where I got my start.
Okay.
And meeting George, I was actually in the SLS hotel in, I think it was Hollywood, somewhere in LA. And he had Lil Jon and Nelly's stylist there. And we were all sitting around the bar. And I had on the old Reebok Jay-Z joints that he came out with, but I had some multicolored joints on. I had a Gucci colorway. So, you know, I'm doing that DC, that DMV shit. I'm trying to be on my fly shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I got a pair of cargos on. And I think I might have had a Madness tee or something like that on the bucket hat. And then Nelly Mo and Lil Jon was like, damn, he said, damn, dirty. I like them. What size them? I took them off, put them on the box, said, hey, your size. And so George was sitting there and he saw that I held my composure. I had a good rapport with artists. And he was like, man, I like you. Like, you got a good rapport. And mind you, George got some ashy angles at the time. But you could tell he had money, nails done, you know what I'm saying? Nice watch on, nice Rolex timepiece on, you know what I'm saying? Everything was nice. It was designer, but no logos. So I'm just looking, I'm like, man, okay, George a cool dude. He ended up saying, I need you to help me out this weekend with product placement. Now, mind you, I didn't understand what product placement was, right? But I learned that that would be my path to getting in the industry. And so what product placement is, I know you guys see this shoe right here, shameless plug, right? Just like you see all those books in the back and everything else. But when you watch movies like 007 and you see the new Aston Martin in that movie, they paid for that placement. And I fell in love with being a part of that product placement like staff. And so I ran product placement for Apple Bottoms for quite some time and Live Mechanics, which was a direct competitor to LRG. It's a streetwear brand. And I made my stake there. I did that the whole weekend for BET Awards. I did an excellent job. Put clothes on Terrence J, you know, Tigger, Roxy, you know, all of those names at that time. And George just fell in love with me. He like, man, I love your hustle. I want to offer you a situation in New York. So fin this, I go home, I never hear from this nigga again. I'm calling George. And I'm sorry, G, but I had to tell this. I love you, but I got to tell this.
Where was George at?
I don't know. George was spinning me. He was hitting me with that 52 fake out, that Hollywood shuffle.
Hollywood shuffle.
Yeah, so I kept hitting George, and he just would never reply back. And then I just wrote him like a fucked up message. I'm like, man, why would you sell me like that? You know, like, I'm gonna come for your job. really wasn't trying to come for George's job, but I just said that shit
Yeah,
to
sounds
get a
tight.
reaction.
Yeah.
And I got a reaction. He was like, well, look, you think you can do my job? Come to New York this week. So I got on the train. Well, actually, it was a China bus at the time for $20 down on 8th Street.
Yeah.
So I got on the China bus. I went up there. I met George. I actually started staying in George's house because at the time, I didn't know where I was going to live at up there. Now, mind you, at the time, my brother and a lot of my siblings and all that, they was in the streets.
How many siblings you got?
6 of us. One falling.
And what do you are? Like the baby?
I'm the oldest. I'm the oldest.
Okay.
Yeah, you know, I come first. Yeah. You catch a lot of flack for that shit though, because then all your siblings think, oh, you dad favorite, and you this, that, and the third. Shut up. You know what I'm saying? Stop it.
The firstborns.
Yeah, they don't even understand what type of responsibility that is.
Yeah, y'all also be thinking y'all the mom and the dad.
That's
like,
a fact.
Yeah.
But we are. You see my eyes? They Merlot. All I do is work, get money for the family, and I'm trying to create a pathway to a legacy for their kids. Not for them, but for their kids. And it's a sacrifice.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't understand that. You know, I really do believe to whom much is given, much is required. Like, you know, if you're given that platform, then you got to use it for good. And so I've literally dedicated my life to servicing other people. Yeah. You know, I've helped people become millionaires before I've made my money. But that was my service. That was, you know, what was in the cards for me.
Right.
But now I'm on some get money for me right now.
I know that's right.
So
you went up to New York on the China bus.
Went up to New York on the China bus. You know, George immediately put me to work. So, and I'll tell you what he had me doing. He had me work the front desk. For real. And I grew a really undeniable respect for people that work that position. Yeah. Because there's 2 people in companies, especially brick and mortars and office spaces, who hold all the power. That's the receptionist and the janitor.
First person you greet?
Janitor got all the keys, right? They can get you in any door. And then also, the receptionist has everybody's contact. So you can't talk to the GM, you can't talk to the president, the SVP, without first calling the reception to even get pushed over to them. Right. And so my homegirl Eb, I don't know if y'all remember the Biggie duets. That it was a record, the Biggie duets. It was like a whole album. Oh yeah. She was the voice of the girl who was getting fucked on one of the records. She used to work at Daddy's house, at Diddy's production company. And she was the front desk reception there. Now, mind you, I love Eb. Eb really took me in New York. You gotta understand something. I know what the streets would say about the New York and DC shit and all of that. But I actually got accepted in New York City.
I did too.
They love the shit out of me and I love them.
No, for real.
You know, you learn a few things up there, you know, about the grind, about the hustle. You got kids ages 6, 7, 8 years old on the fucking train dancing for money. There's no way that you settle for being broke and poor. Right. It's no way, because it's always a way, an opportunity, and an outlet for you to earn. Always. Now, you might live in communities that lack resources, right? But now we don't have that same excuse, because what do we have now? The fucking internet. And these kids in our neighborhoods walking around with $900 shoes on, but they telling me they ain't eat. Take them fucking shoes back. Tell your mom, get that money back, and put that $900 into your nourishment. Right. Into feeding your mind, your soul, your brain. You don't need that. I made a shoe right here. $200, right? That I sell this shoe at. Just because I understand my value. I can sell this shoe at $20, and I think I will do a shoe that I can sell at that level. But I won't tell you how much it cost me to produce this shoe. But I'm like Frank Lucas, without the snitching. Like, I literally cut out the middleman to do this. This is directly from the source, right? We went to China and got this done. It's the Culture Runner. And I believe it's the first official running shoe that was created by a DC design-based company. and it's so comfortable.
It's so comfortable?
Yeah.
Let me see.
And we actually sold 800 pair in about 4 hours. You know what I mean? And so y'all could do the math on that, right?
Got the
That's
coordinates?
called cultural currency, right? It's called using your influence for something great. And we donated a portion of the money. I have a AAU organization that we pour money into off of these sneakers and make sure we get these kids from city to city so they'll be able to have a platform to showcase their talent. But George Hughes is a great man. He's still in my life right now. And this is why it's so important that we set up succession plans and we mentor one another. Like we have to, because we're not as far ahead as we think we are.
Right.
And we have some very important people in high level positions that we should tap into, or better yet, they ass should be tapping back into us, right? I didn't truly understand that until I reached that 40 mark, okay? That we had to really, you don't just come back, you have to come back and you have to pull other people forward. You have to, especially the special ones.
Yeah.
The ones that think, that understand and have a grasp on what this shit supposed to look like. You gotta teach one. You have to do that. Succession plans are so important, and I'm super grateful for George being able to mentor me because he is my GOAT in terms of marketing. He been behind everything. This nigga like Forrest Gump. You remember when Forrest Gump was in the movie and this nigga was running marathons? This nigga is Forrest Gump. He like that. I'm telling you. And he reminds me so much of like a Kenny Burns, right? Just a little older, you know. But yeah, him and Kenny remind me of each other. Without all the, Kenny a little more, you know, street and everything than George. But yeah, George is the GOAT. He was that Steve Stoutish guy before that. I know for me. I know he was that for Nelly, Paul Wall, Carmelo. The list goes on and on, the people that he influenced.
Okay, so is George the reason why BOA started as a marketing?
Yeah, he had a lot of influence on that. There was a void in the marketplace. So I don't know if everybody knows that Wale went to Virginia State and he was playing football, okay? Wale was one of those guys that he would be at Foster, freestyling, rapping, right? I used to see Wale a lot, but we never really kicked it at State like that, all right? I was too busy, you know, playing basketball, doing my thing. When we left State, Trey, formerly at UCB, right? Now he's Trey of the People. Muhammad and myself, we was managing Trey as a solo artist. He called me one day. He was like, man, look, I've been telling this nigga Wale, he need to fuck with you and Mo, you know, because it's just something that's missing. And I think y'all are the ingredients that I think he's missing.
Yeah.
And so he invited us out to a show at the 930 Club. It was an amazing show. Wale came out, talked to us. We ended up going back to his crib, started having some motion, talking about the things that we can do and be on his team. And he told us that we reminded him of G and Hop that was managing Kanye. Me and Mo got two different personalities. Mo from uptown. Mo gonna talk shit all day, no matter who you are. That's my asshole, literally. Like this nigga, if it's a piece of shit in the dictionary, he like his little face. You know what I'm saying? But one of the most caring individuals and will give you anything, you know, especially game. And you know, he is the top sneaker connoisseur that ever graced the town.
Period.
People don't really know that, but I'm gonna say it.
Shout out to Mo.
Yeah, and I don't know if this was 95 or whatever year it was when the Tim Duncans came out, Silver Jones. Mo had them Jones a year before. I can't make it up. Walking around the town, everybody thought they were space shoes. It's crazy. It's crazy. And so we had that pedigree to be able to start BOA. I think that Trey really ushered us in to being a full-scale business. I had kind of like the dream, and I'm always bringing these harebrained schemes to them, and they be like, man, this nigga G be in the clouds.
Yeah.
But I dream.
Yeah.
I dream big. Fuck that, I gotta be a trillionaire. I ain't satisfied with making just a little bit of money or, having some type of status. Like, I wanna really impact and change the world, and I feel like I can.
Yep.
And so BOA was supposed to be that change agent. I thought that we were just a go-go town, right? We did have some rap influence, like Booby and One Way and those guys influenced us a lot. Section 8 Mob, there was a lot of rap families before us. I didn't want to come in as a label. I wanted to provide A&R services, artists and repertoire. Like, I wanted to do the marketing, the management side, because I felt like those were the thankless positions that weren't always in the limelight, but that was the fucking oil that they put in the car. And the car can't stop without that. And so we tried to provide services, and we did somewhat for Phil Day in the very beginning with his album, I think it was called Freshman or something like that. I had a company that I was working for called Sparkling Nouveau. It was a drink. It was
Hey, I had that.
Yeah, that was my first industry name, was Nouveau G.
Yeah.
And it wasn't a lot of
love days.
Yeah, exactly. That was me. If you saw that drink, that's because I had it there. And that's kind of what started BOA. It started with Nouveau money, and it started with, I'm not going to be honest with you, it started with some street money as well from my other two partners.
So I know where it started at.
Where?
Fat Outcomes.
How the fuck you know that?
Narwhal. You know that? Narwhal.
Wow.
And also the No Days Off campaign.
Yeah.
Y'all did that?
Yeah. Our favorite movie, that's me and Mo's favorite movie, Ferris Bueller. And we felt like Wale was missing a piece of the grassroots culture in the city. A lot of people be like, well, Wale ain't from DC, this, that, and the third. But in all actuality, Wale was born in DC, and he lived in an apartment uptown off of Georgia Avenue, and Peabody, But he, of course, Wale's Nigerian. And it was, the story goes as far as a taxi driver and things of that nature. So it was probably a bit of a disconnect where he didn't play Boys Club and things of that nature. And by that time, he already had moved either to Mo County or Lago. Who gives a shit, right? Like, at the end of the day, he was trying to carry a crown for the city. And so, there was some things that he was missing. And we like, Wale, you got to kiss the babies. You got to go hug the people. Yeah. And I think that's the part he's missing. You got to think about it like this. Wale had Gaga before any other hip-hop artist had Gaga on a record. Yeah. Right? And so he was signed to Interscope Records, where he kind of got left on the island, right? And it was some displacement, a little bit, because his fan really didn't connect with him doing the song with Gaga. It was like, hold on, we know the Nike boots, we know the, you know what I mean? And then the other fans that was trying to connect that didn't know him, they like, well, who is this black kid with this lady? Gaga.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it was a bit of a disconnect. And I'm like, you know what? We got to kiss the babies. We got to go to barbershops, beauty salons, right? We got to go shake hands. We got to go to schools. Anywhere that our influence can impact culture, we needed to be there. And that was the No Days Off campaign. We literally didn't sleep. We were the first doing vlogs and shit. That's a fact. That's a fact. And I don't care who tried to say they was doing it before us around the country, you wasn't. You wasn't organizing video content and putting it out every single day. We was doing that, okay? So much so that even Ross and them started doing that shit. Yeah. Right? A lot of people don't give Wale and our team kudos, but we literally crafted what people are doing today. We were live streaming out of an office on Q Street, uptown. Like real concerts. We were streaming them shits. We used Ustream.
Yeah, I remember Ustream.
Yeah, we was using Ustream. We was doing that shit first before any of these artists was doing it. Wale was crashing file sharing companies, right? That put out mixtapes and things of that nature. We were crashing those. We crashed Jay-Z Life and Times Company. Elliot Wilson crashed that shit. Karen Civil crashed hers. We were crashing websites and we had a formula, a real one. And we were the only artists crashing websites like that, where we were getting a bunch of people to come to one place. We were going viral before it was called going viral. And we don't really get the credit for it, but we had write-ups in the Wall Street Journal for those things. And I think because we were too cool for school, we don't ever worry about what people are not saying about us or what they are saying. We just live our life and keep winning. I won my whole life. Mo has been winning his whole life. We never lost, ever. You know, and I know when we actually started BOA, people laughed. Every company around here we tried to provide A&R service for, and it's like, what the fuck we need y'all for? Y'all do music. I mean, y'all do basketball and fashion. Y'all don't do music.
Yeah.
But they didn't understand the parallel and how all of that shit connect. And now you look at it, look at Gunna. Fucking Under Armour did.
Look at Gunna.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's all connecting. The way that we consume things now, we consume it in 3, 4 different ways. If you look at basketball right now, NIL, name, image, and likeness, we understood this back then.
Yeah.
And, you know, sometimes, and it's our fault because sometimes you can be early, which makes you late.
Yeah.
We were always before our time. And so there was a disconnect, right? You know, and I'm grateful for the BOA days. There's a couple things that I wanna clear up about BOA.
Okay.
Because I think that a lot of the stories are half told, okay? And we haven't been able to really express what happened to any of that or what was our part in it. I've seen several interviews from a lot of artists that I feel like haven't really given us our credit in the way that we should. Because here, outside of the Alizé days and Kenny Burns days, which was very early Wale, you can't mention Wale without mentioning us.
At all.
And you can't mention that you was connected to Wale without mentioning us. Can't do it. You can't not mention Trey, okay, and UCB.
Yep.
You can't do that. And you damn sure can't not mention me.
Okay.
Because I'll tell you this. I'll tell you about a couple different artists that we had. Nyreek Lee. We called him the Wizard. I know Black came on the show, was talking about Reek. Reek's a great man, right? Been my friend since we was in single digits, okay? Both from Southeast, et cetera, et cetera. I call Reek the Wizard because his mind just ticks differently. You know, he's been on all this hipster lifestyle, streetwear shit before it was called that, right? He was working at a spot called Head to Head in Forestville Mall. He was the jersey guy. He was the fitted, the snapback guy. He was the sneaker guy, right? One day I got a call. We were on the road. He told me, man, I got our next artist. I'm like, who? He's like, it's this fat, wow. His man just come home from jail. These niggas, they had XO, because XO was the man in terms of like giving a platform on U Street for new artists, all right? And I said, all right, I'm gonna jump on a plane and come home. Came home. We went to U Street. Reek walked me in there. You know who I saw? Fat Trail and Do Baby.
I used
And
to
Do
love
Baby was whipping up.
Yeah.
And Trail was going crazy. To me, and I'll go on record saying this, I believe that Trail was the most talented artist, rapper in that millennial generation to come out of the city. Was talented. I didn't say he was the best artist or had the best records and things of that nature or the flies or none of that shit, but the most talented in my eyes. So versatile, can do everything, right? Can sing, he can rap, conscious rap, anything. Trail was like that. Now, we seen Trail. I had a conversation with Trail afterwards. And he's like, man, I want to lock in, right? Trail started working with us and everything. Somewhere along the way, Trail had some other outside influences, okay? I love this whole team, from all his managers, Debo, P, all of them, the hyenas. You know what I'm saying? I grew up with a few of them, right? I think that somewhere along the line, the vision got obscured because of ego and also because people are impatient. And I always talk about patience because you can move too fast and think you're going somewhere fast and you go nowhere because you're not moving as a unit. You're moving as an individual. You're thinking about your own career versus the entire culture and the entire set. Can't move by yourself. Fat Trail, to me, should be in the lights. His career, to me, should be far greater than what it is right now, okay? And I love what Squirrel and them was doing with him when he returned. So shout out to them brothers too. But I think in the very beginning, I think Fat Trail could have covered more ground had he stayed underneath the platform just a little longer. And it's not all his fault, right? And I could talk like this because, you know, it was a little bit of us being young, and it was a little bit of Wale needing to understand what was needed too, but he was still climbing as an artist. He was a big homie to artists. We made him a big homie to artists before he was ready to be a big homie to artists. So he didn't have all of what he needed yet. So he was still searching for that validation. He was still pushing out to be that supreme artist. So he wasn't really in the mind state of help, help, help.
Right, right.
You know what I'm saying? He did what he could.
Yeah.
Right? And, you know, oftentimes he gets blamed for that. Like, oh, he didn't do this, he didn't do that. But I feel like he did enough. All right? Now, at that point, when he's doing enough, it's also up to you as an artist to push through the door.
Yeah.
Motherfucker get you there to the door, you got to push through. So, I love Fat Trail. It's my Cancer brother.
I was going to ask you your sign.
Yeah, I'm a Cancer.
Okay.
So, you can already tell I speak with a lot of conviction and passion, and I speak with a lot of I don't give a fuck.
So wait, June or July?
June.
Oh yeah,
End
real
of June.
Cancer.
I'm a good Cancer.
Wait, when your birthday?
June 29th.
Okay, my best friend June 26th. So.
Oh, that's close enough.
Yeah, close enough.
That's close enough. But, you know, like I said, the most talented artist to ever come out of here as a rapper in the millennial generation, I would say is Fat Trail, hands down. Right? I would say the most influential artist to come out of our town as a rapper is Glizzy. I feel like music is regional, right? And people will identify DC with him.
Yep.
His slang, the way we dress, right? All of those different ingredients that he puts into creating, right? And then his brand in general. I think he represents us well. You know what I'm saying? I loved their whole thing. I think you couldn't have Shy without Ant and the rest of that crew. And I'm just speaking on seeing a lot of that stuff early on. Right? I'm not speaking about what Shy is doing now and what like Ant is doing. Me seeing them being a little older at that time when Glizzy like first came out, it was beautiful.
Yeah.
And seeing those guys work together and everything that they did, because I felt like they were the spunk, right? I felt like Glizzy Gang and Slutty Boys, they were like, if you merge those two together, do you know what would have happened?
Yeah.
That was my dream,
Man.
to create a big ass label for the entire city. I had conversations with Dre the Mayor, right? Andre Hobson. I had conversation with him to try to bring 368 and BOA together. we were talking about that. And actually, we did later on because he actually made me the president of his label once we kind of dissolved BOA. Let's backtrack a little bit because I'm all over, but I'm going to bring it home for you.
That's fine.
Okay? Black Cobain. Black Cobain love Black. We not the same anymore, but I love Black. All right? And I know he said that when he came on here. Like, you know, it's all love and everything, because it is. I love all of them, Slink, Lil J. Those my brothers, no doubt about it. Black was my brother first before he was my artist.
Yep.
And if Black said he wanted to be a football player, Greg was going to support it. So was Slink. Everybody knows this. Okay? Lil J was his baby brother. You know what I'm saying? So Lil J with anything, he with whatever. You know what I'm saying? First of all, let me just say, Lil J was with the girls. That's what he was with.
Of course.
Lil J was with the girls.
He was.
But everybody knew that, like, okay, Black wanted to do something, Slink was going to be right there, and G was going to help curate it. I was a little taken back on the interview because when he first started talking about the Wale thing and everything, and y'all asking how he got connected with him and so on and so on, he didn't mention me. He didn't mention my company. It was just a straight conversation about him and Wale moving around.
Right.
You don't move around with Wale without me. Without Muhammad, without Nariq, without Trey. You know what I'm saying? And I just get tired of our name not being mentioned. You understand what I'm saying? It's disrespectful. Because if Jim Jones and Cameron could be beefing with Dame, but they still talk about all the great things Dame did for them.
Right.
And they ain't gotta be coerced to do it.
Right.
They just speak it. They don't even gotta say Dame. Nobody's telling them, hey, what did Dame do? No, they're just telling the real truth.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, why not? Why not do that? Because what the issue is with me is I feel like if it's not told, it didn't happen, right? It's documented, you know, and I'm going to definitely put out a documentary, but why do we have to wait for that?
Right.
When you given opportunities to tell the story, right? And Black know that, you know what I'm saying? Like, we here. So he know everything I'm saying. I'm calling good money because I don't get on platforms and just talk bullshit. I don't do that. I'm not going to even waste my time. But it hurts when you see people that you know you've directly impacted their life in a major way not give you those kudos or not even speak and say that, hey, this is what happened. All right? No, I met Wale through G and them. Because he wasn't that great of an artist yet. Okay? Black is a good artist. But he wasn't that. He was groomed into that. There was a lot of development. There was a lot of money spent into developing, right? And it was a belief that I had in him that made everybody else circle around him and say, I'm supporting. Because this town is territorial.
Yeah.
You don't have a Southeast and Uptown nigga getting a VA artist. When we signed Trail, it's niggas in Southeast like, man, why you ain't sign us?
Yeah.
What's up? You know what I'm saying? Town crazy like that. Right? But I feel like we covered every section of the city with the people that we had in our business, right? To where we can soften, or it's a softer landing space when we want to do stuff like that, right? Because we had the right intentions. Black, not just him, but artists that we've worked with gotta start telling the truth. It's not that he lied. It was just an omission. And you don't gotta do that. You know what I'm saying? Because I would never discredit what history was history. We made it. Right? And so just tell it the right way. Right? And they know we got a lot of love for them, so it ain't about nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I holler at Black later.
Yeah.
But you gotta tell the truth and not omit things. Especially when we got people that's of this new generation that don't know.
You don't.
And you want the story to be told. They already try to erase everything else about our fucking history.
Yeah.
Why not tell it the right way and be accurate so that people can understand those dudes not just the museum?
Yeah, they're not.
You know what I'm saying? Like, they probably one of the biggest reasons why we have this creative economy in this town right now. And so I didn't have all those blood, sweat, and tears and fights and all of that and pushing over DJ booths. And man, we was on one to get them, they records played and all of that. You know what I mean? Like, I had to get Wale to buy into Black because he wasn't confident in Black as an artist, right? And Black sounded so much similar to him. So we took Black to London. Talk about that. Well, they didn't take you to London. We took you to London on behalf of Rich Kleiman, helped us out with that as KD's business partners. Shit run deep.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Deeper than rap.
Yes. And we had a space out there, we call it a flat. Out there, had a flat, and Black was sipping tea in London for a couple months on the Royal Ballet. That's heavy. That shit, like, you know, that don't happen. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, bro, we deserve more than that. You know what I'm saying? Like, we put out those albums, Black ain't had to put up a dime. That was all our money. He traveled the world. Stop just mentioning Wale. Don't mention us late in the interview as like a spinoff. No, we the main attraction. Tell him, man, your big brother put you with Wale. Man, that nigga G put me with Wale. And he went against the grain for me at all costs. Because even when BOA had it split from Wale, I still made another sacrifice to continue to split because Black's career was at compromise. So I'm tired of being selfless and then niggas not mentioning me and my crew. That's crazy. Like, we did too much, man. That's like I said, that's like mentioning Rockefeller without Dame in them. How you do that? You don't mention that without Big. You don't just mention Jay. Biggs had something to do with that. My homie Sherry Bryant, everybody had something to do with it. Like, but mention the people who were there every day fighting for you, not just the artists. Because the artist is still gonna be an artist. When they done, they still gonna be an artist. But those other people are gonna be the ones that help see you through. We had a bad apple in our bunch. I won't talk about her or her company and things of that nature. We trusted, okay, where we shouldn't have. We trusted some people that had the money for us, and they did us dirty. This is before scamming was scamming, right? We didn't understand it. I told Black, now this is me. If I'm your brother and I'm calling you, now this your brother that's poured into your career since the beginning, when you were on another label with another crew and y'all had an album called From the Books to the Block. Made no sense to me. You understand what I'm saying? It don't make sense for us because we went to college, bro. What are we talking about? You know what I'm saying? My whole family going to prison with federal indictments. We don't need to talk about no drugs, no none of that. We really come from that. Let's not pour that into anybody's spirit. So no, I don't like that, Black, and I don't want you to do it. Well, man, what I'm gonna do? Don't worry about it. You wanna go solo? I got you. You know what I'm saying? Shooting videos out there, Lil Dennis and all them, on the projects and all that. They're my videographers. I paid for those. You know what I'm saying? I was the creative director behind those videos. Each and every one of them. I picked Black songs, top to bottom, track lists, everything. Album covers outside of the one Reek picked for LRG. It's a fact. I'm a fucking genius. And nobody ever hear me talk like that. But give us more credit. We did 5 or 6 Steph Curry shoes. I don't even play basketball no more. And I got my own player exclusive. Talk about us. Like, don't do that. And guess what? We still in the community.
Yeah, look in that camera.
We in the community, we tangible.
Yeah.
Like, you can really walk up to us and say, hey, shorty, man, my youngins don't have this or have that. Can you help us? We do it every time. I dare somebody to say we don't help. We help everybody. So why aren't we spoken about? It's crazy. Who the hell else y'all know from the town that had 5-step? It's the greatest shooter that ever played basketball.
Yeah.
I got my hood street sign on my shoe with Steph Curry and didn't even have to go through legal. How does that happen? You know what I'm saying? Like, we had a Fila, people don't talk about this. We had a Fila collaboration. We did the Fila to 85 jump. Our love for the forefathers in fashion and our love for what DC streets did for us in the 80s and the 90s is why we created that shoe with Fila. Why we did that collaboration. That is crazy. Y'all like that.
Talk to me nice.
Listen, this is fashion and this is art. This sneaker is a 3M sneaker. It reflects in the dark. Look at this sole. Like, we put our life into this shit. For people not to be talking about this now is hating shit. We sold out. We had this particular collaboration, and I don't know when y'all ever saw this. If you saw it before from anybody else from this town, let me know. When the last time y'all saw a streetwear brand from this town take over an entire major apparel brand's website? Be on the front cover of the website with all of our apparel, with me and Mo sitting in the old school Benz right in front of Prince or Princess. How more nostalgic do you have to get? How much more do we have to tell the story to get kudos? And guess what we did? We didn't just do it ourselves. We brought all the forefathers of fashion in it. And we didn't miss nobody. If we did, we apologize. We felt like we got everybody. Only person we didn't get in it is Zotan, DDTP. But we weren't able to locate, anybody at that time. You know what I'm saying? But all days, shooters. I mean, you name them. Makunu, Hobo, DeMarco Solar. You name any DC brand that was from that time period that we knew about, we pay homage.
Yeah.
And we put them in our campaign. It's like, there's no reason not to mention us. You know what I'm saying? We ain't clout chasing. We don't do none of that. We just keep it moving. But my partners and shit, they too cool to really, they like, gee, we don't care. I care. You know what I'm saying?
It's that cancer, y'all.
I care. Because what's right is right, what's wrong is wrong.
Right.
And at the end of the day, if you could name me and show me, get on the internet, tell me, who else? Who else did it? We started an AAU program called Team Museum. Our first year, we got McDonald's All-American.
Vicious.
We win. We win. We win in life because our hearts be in the right place. Our motives are pure.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So why don't this town champion people they supposed to champion? We champion bullshit. We champion streamers and bloggers that put negativity out, but we won't champion the Museum DC. We just designed a jersey for the Washington Capitals for Black History Month. And it had every aspect of the culture in it. We put Kente on that jump. It is white hockey players wearing Kente.
Literally.
Like, what are we talking about?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, don't talk that fly shit to me or nothing. You know what I'm saying? When we can talk about early days BOA, we carried the torch. DC or nothing on our back. You know what I'm saying? Tony Lewis will tell everybody. No, listen. Tony was with us, still with us. You understand what I'm saying? And it's like, I think people, because we haven't just came out and boasted and bragged, that they try to like minimize what we did, right? And you can't minimize what Wale did for the culture. They wouldn't be looking here if he had not done what he's done, period. Now, mind you, I call a spade a spade. Sometimes Wale get on my fucking nerves and I don't fuck with him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I'm pretty sure I get on people's nerves too and they don't fuck with me for a time period. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? We men, we women, right? We gonna go through that.
Right.
But at the end of the day, I'll never not say what he was to the culture.
Right.
Come on. Like, you a hater if you do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was what he was to the culture. Just like Glizzy is who he is to the culture. Ant Glizzy is who he is to the culture. Fat Trail is who he is to the culture. Black is what he is to the culture. You guys are who y'all are for what y'all do in the culture, right? And after this Fila sneaker, we got the Steph Curry thing going, but it didn't stop there. We were called by Under Armour to produce a color story for its apparition sneaker, all right? Now that's quote unquote that was their new runner at the time, right? It was equivalent to what maybe an Air Max 95 would be. Okay. One of the biggest sneakerheads in the world, Complex Magazine, said he would never, and this is a quote, excuse me, he would never put Under Armour on ever, right? Ever. And they took that quote because guess what he did? He might not have wore Under Armour before, but he wore the Under Armour museum shoe. And he gave it like a 5-star rating. That's unheard of.
Yeah.
But if we was from New York or LA, New York would have got behind it just like they get behind J-Tips. You wouldn't have heard the last of it. Same thing with LA, same thing with Chicago, right? We have and I believe he's from Chicago, Joe Fresh Goods. You have a Chicago influencer, hell of a designer, designing collaborations and color stories and everything for New Balance, right? I have no problem with that. But why didn't Malik and them get another New Balance?
Right.
Right? Why the city not upset about that? Because if the city makes enough noise, he gets another New Balance. I guarantee it. Companies hate bad press. We're strong enough of a town that if this town wanted to blow you up more than what you are, we could. And we don't need no outside source to do it. Because I'm pretty sure if I got myself together, my partners, Lil Dre, a couple other people, and we said, hey, they need 30,000 over there because Shawty need to, she dope. We need to blow that shit up. You know what I'm saying? We need to pay for ads. We need to get them more people to come on that's at a high level, like when K and OG was here. You know what I'm saying? That's how you do it, right? That's how you do that. And so, as a community, the DMV community, since it's embodied as all like a trio now, right? And I'm gonna give you a story because it really always was. In fact, DC was created out of Virginia and I can get into all that. I can get into the home rule and why we would probably never be a state.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We can get into that another time, right? But we have to figure out a way to push our influence for good, to raise up the next set of influencers, and to give kudos to the past. Because your future is nothing without knowing where you came from.
Yeah.
And so, I'm sorry I just went on that little rant.
No, that was
it's not a rant to me. This is just me. I talk with passion. And everybody that I mentioned know I talk like that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I ain't mean to go off on
No, that's cool.
Right?
That's cool.
Yeah, but I think we deserve more respect. That's all I'm saying. We deserve more. You know, when you talk about the things we were able to do before people were streaming, before these file sharing companies and, you know, people were making so much money, you know, digitally off music, Wale was at the centerpiece of that. You know what I'm saying? Like the same the Soulja Boy era and all of that. Wale was a pivotal piece of that, you know? And we were too, because we were the the governing body behind it with him.
Yeah.
Right? A lot of people were born out of BOA. You know, I could tell you how there was a promoter that played with Slink and Jay and them. And I wasn't having that shit. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah. A very high level promoter, 2 guys. And one broke off from the other and needed a lift up. And I introduced Slink and Jay and them. They still do business with them to this day. That's how you hold it down. You know what I'm saying? So if I could be those things, it's no way that there's a Wale here, our shoes ain't posted.
Right.
You don't post Nike before you post us. Just call a spade a spade. And we ain't putting out no garbage. It's quality. Took us 2 years wear testing the shoe. You know what I'm saying? So, nah, you don't do that. You don't post another show from an outsider before you post yours.
Right.
Why? We don't have to do that. And especially if it's good and it's quality. Right? Like Chef Tobias, amazing chef. Right?
Love him.
We should be pumping him up more. He's actually from here. They pour more into chefs and shit that ain't even from the town than they do him.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? This man gotta get shot before he get all his pub. What we doing? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You should have been getting that shit.
I mean,
You know
right.
what I'm saying?
And I'm
Like, come
thank
on,
God
man.
that he's great and he's good. I try
That's
to get
my
him on
dog.
here
I love him.
before all that.
We
Just so y'all
talk.
know.
We no, but see, he, you know, he is in like just. I mean, I know he was here and all that. Great. When he hasn't come here yet. Well, he'll be here. I'll make it happen.
Yeah, make it happen.
I'll make it happen. Tobias, chef. You know you.
Bring your ass here.
You know you Manmo's favorite African. We need you on this show.
Period.
And we need you back here cooking.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? But nah, like we gotta do better.
Yeah.
There's no way that we got all this talent, right? And we look outside of this town for validation. Yeah, artists can go gold and platinum right here. They ain't gotta go nowhere.
At all.
We still giving OG artists money. Webby could come here and get a bag right now.
Right.
This is what we do. They probably, the Jocelyn junk coming this weekend, that shit probably sold out.
Yeah. Shout out to Miss Kanaya.
Shout out to Kanai. But we got to do better. And I just want people to give us that. If you're going to interview, especially if you was close to us, I ain't asking for people that didn't work with us. But if you worked with us and you know the real, tell it, bro.
Yeah.
What is you like omitting shit for? Like, you don't have to do that. And be honorable and be like, listen, man, I wouldn't have been here without them niggas. Because that's a fact. Because just like I told y'all, I wouldn't be sitting right here without George. George helped me so much with my career. And he molded me. And he didn't just tell me, he gave me experience in real life. Like I lived with this man on the #1 block in New York City, South Portland, in Brooklyn, right? And this dude, like, anytime he flew out to do anything with celebrities, he flew me with him. Like, I'm talking about, like, he really, like, put me on. You know what I'm saying? And so, you know, just like I told you, George has lived many lives, I feel right in those footsteps. You know, there's something that, I don't know if you know Major, promoter and everything.
My dog.
He told me something one day, right? And this like one of the first times that we really, really connected. He tapped me one day, we was in a club, he was like, yo, he was like, how you be doing that shit? And I was like, do what? He was like, bro, I literally seen you from the Nouveau days
Why do you sound like him?
to Wale shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? To like Martell, to, you know, museum and basketball, all of this shit. And how you reinventing yourself all the time? Like, he like, bro, y'all been winning for a very long time, right? And I told him, it's a quote that my father gave me, right? It's a couple things. My mother gave me a lot of gems too. But my father told me this a long time ago. He said, never delegate the responsibility of loving you to someone else. Because if you do, they may stop loving you without your permission. And he was like, well, what that got to do with? And I was like, nigga, I just love myself so much. When you love yourself, you're able to understand who you are and your purpose, right? When you live a purpose-driven life, it will take you so much further, but people so fucking scared to sit with themselves. They don't want to spend that time in the jungle because that shit is scary.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
So how do you stay grounded when the shit get loud?
My world don't get loud no more.
And why is that?
Because, like I said, when you understand your purpose, some way, somehow, it's noise cancellation. Like, you got tunnel vision at that point. You know what I mean? But there's a time period, like right now, and I'm telling this, I want to tell this to everybody, and I know I'm going to sound weird for saying this, but I believe in the law of attraction. Manifestation. It is a very real thing. And like right now, the doors are open. You know what I'm saying? And I sound like one of them, call me for your free reading.
Ain't no
Jones,
real.
you hear me?
Miss Cleo.
But I'm telling you,
Call me now.
you could think it's weird all day long, but you want to get like me, you better start manifesting everything. Manifest your dreams. I'm telling you, it works. I got to tell you this. Even in small things, you want a woman, manifest it, bro.
But you got to be very detailed.
Whatever I want, I get.
Yeah.
And that's including a woman, whatever it is. I went to Riverdale Baptist. That was my first high school I went to. I tried to fail the test 3-4 times to get in because I didn't want to go to a private school and wear uniforms. I still got in. I'm telling you, when I failed the test, they still let me in. I wasn't a churchgoer or anything like that, but I was getting into little things. My mother told my cousin, man, he need to go to church with you. So he took me to church. It was in Walker Mill. It was in a small little store in Walker Mill. And when I sat in there with my cousin, I wasn't paying attention at all. Then I seen this girl walk past. I was like, damn, I still remember what she had on.
What she have on?
She had two-tone bucks on.
Okay.
And I know that sound crazy, right? But I like a weird fly joint that just don't even care. You know what I'm saying? Two-tone, you know the two-tone shoes you wore when you was in elementary and wearing with the little socks and all that? She had the long pencil skirt on like a denim joint. She like something out the 1920s.
Oh.
I said, damn, I thought that was Archie and what's the broad name that when they had the Letterman jackets and the, Man, listen. So she walked past, I'm like, I tapped my cousin.
You said, damn.
I said, who
She did the Craig and Dede.
Man, I was locked in the whole service, right? Wasn't paying attention to nothing but her. At the end, we all walked out, was in the parking lot. I seen my homegirl, Bianca. She grew up around my way. Now, Bianca used to suck her thumb. She one of those. So she walked past and was like, Lil Greg, what you looking at? So I said, her. She was like, that's my cousin. You not good enough for her. I said, damn, like, you know what I'm saying? You just kill a Southside nigga dream. So I said, okay. I just kept watching. I was like, man, I'm gonna get her one day. I don't know this girl from nowhere. I never went back to the church. I never went back to that place.
She your wife?
No. See, there you go. She vicious. Oh, man. We gotta do a part 2. What the fuck? You
I'm
know?
just asking.
Nah.
Are you single?
Yeah.
Okay. We need to cut that out.
But I'm dating very serious.
Oh.
Yeah. Exclusively.
Period.
Yeah.
I like that.
I'm saying, yeah, maybe if it, you know, we might can come on the show together.
Yes.
Who knows? I don't know.
I would love it. From scratch.
Yeah. But
I don't even know what that is, but yeah.
But yeah, so I ended up getting into the school the next year. The first day, the first person that I met at the school that had to walk me around, guess who it was? It was the girl. This is what I'm telling you, manifestation is crazy.
Nah, I mean, I hear you because you know what they call me?
What?
The manifestation queen.
Wow.
You ain't know that? They ain't know that either, but yeah, all my friends call me that.
Yeah, no, it's a very real thing.
If I say it, it's gonna happen.
Yo, that's what my friends be talking. Like, I can say the lights gonna cut off, and then them jump shits. You know what I'm saying? Make sure we cut the lights on the video. You know?
No, for real.
Yeah, but seriously, like, you gotta manifest what you want. It's real.
It is.
Along with prayer, but it's real. You have to do that. Like, I think people think that it's weird and they think people lying, but like, it's the truth. Everything that I said I wanted to do a shoe. I drew the museum colors. Not the logo,
3rd grade.
but I wrote museum in the 3rd grade.
I was gonna ask you that. Is that where you won a national award for art?
Hey, yo. Who is she, dog?
Narwhal.
That's
Sorry,
crazy.
shout out to Narwhal though, because he is my favorite interviewer. But yeah.
How you know that though? Nah, that's crazy. Yeah. So it was called Radon. It was a Radon contest. A lot of people don't know this, but I'm an artist too. All right.
And you sensitive about your shit.
Exactly. And one day, I'm going to show out beyond a show out. And so Ian hit me up, you know what I'm saying? I'll let you know how much it costs. You know, you can talk to Sauce, really.
Shout out to Ian.
The art dealer, you know, still something I buy it. But I'm definitely gonna curate a show in the near future with some of my collection. Because a lot of people don't know I do that.
They don't. Like, look at these. Look, y'all.
Yeah.
And they was here for y'all to see. Y'all didn't see these growing up because y'all is young as shit. Y'all don't know the culture. This is a part of the culture.
It's a part of the culture.
You didn't even open the little joint.
Tap in. Yeah, these are lace locks.
Look at the lace lock.
It's just small details. Small details.
Custom.
Lace locks here, and we good money. But no, BOA days were great.
They were. You know, I had a chance to meet everybody. I feel like I slink brung BOA to the Boys and Girls Club.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie, that's when I first witnessed Fat Trail Papa Perk.
Yeah.
I mean, he had the Ciroc, the blue Ciroc, and he said, don't try this at home, kids. I mean, he let us know. Don't try this shit at home, but I'm gonna do it. And he did it. And I was like, in my head, what's that? You know, I'm like 15, like, oh. But it's real.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, they came through, they showed love, and shout out to BOA. I had like 2 hoodies. You know, I'm a fake old head for real.
Man, we was carrying that flag on our back for real. We had 3 stars, 2 bars, straight across the back of the hoodie, wearing it every city we went to. You know, really just holding the flag for DC. You know, it was an amazing time, and you know, I'm grateful for those times. So, you know, like, I just think that where we're at in this economy, right? Where we're at as a creative economy in Washington, D.C., you know, Maryland, Virginia, Northern Virginia, we have so much here that we can play off of. You know, it's so much talent.
It is.
So much talent. And I think that we need a real sit down with some of the major players to figure out what are we actually doing in film and how can we get that supported.
Right.
You know, what are we doing in music and how we can facilitate and get that supported? What are we doing in fashion? How do we, right? I think we have to focus a little more on these different verticals and figure out how we can start a union.
Yeah.
I know Ron Moulton, shout out to Ron Moulton, like he's been trying to do that for a long time, you know, and I think he's planning that in the near future for go-go bands.
Nice.
You know what I'm saying? Like, let's form a union. Let's form a fashion union. Let's get a music union. You know, Dre and I have talked about that. You know, even on the basketball side, let's form a union with all the AAU organizations, especially the ones that's leading the way that are sneaker and apparel led, right? So you have about 9 amateur athletic organizations who are sponsored, you know, by these major companies. You got like Team Mello in Baltimore. You got Team Durant. You got Team Takeover. Those are like the 3 Nikes that's here. Then Boo Wims, of course, that's in Virginia. Then you got Adidas. You got Washington Warriors. You got Team Loaded. And you got New World. That's right here. You got One Puma organization, which is us, right? But you got to think about it like this. You have Under Armour organizations, Team Thrill, right? You got Premier. And now you got You got Curtis with New Balance.
Right.
DC Assault is back. So you have all of those. Imagine if we all sat down and formed a big ass organization, right? Where you got like people like Curtis and Meeks, they got seniority, and Keith Stevens, and they sit at the top.
So who's
Right.
going to orchestrate it?
Yeah, I'm gonna try to do it. I think I can be the one to do it,
Yeah.
right? A couple people probably got egos there in the way, but listen, the people that got egos with a lot of this stuff, we gotta start pushing them out. Y'all can't eat.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not with forming this conglomerate, then get out the way.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I think balance is necessary, right? And so you take the good with the bad and everything, but everybody's vision has to align at some point. And just like in fraternities, we believe in culture for service, service for humanity.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's universal.